Hello and welcome to another one of our series where we're revisiting some of our Rockend Rockstars, people we spoke to last year, because we're in a totally different environment now with COVID. How are they managing? Kylie Walsh is General Manager for Di Jones and she joins me. Kylie, thank you very much for your time.
Hi Kevin, how are you?
Good, love your location there, working from home, are you?
Yeah, I'm very lucky. That's my office window. It's a cracking view.
Have you been there? Are you visiting the office at all?
Look, I went into Paddington yesterday, but it's the first time I've been into the office in about 8 weeks. I've been working remotely the entire time.
Yeah, we've learned so many lessons from working remotely too, haven't we? I want to talk to you about productivity and systems and so on. Have you had to change many things in your business to accommodate people working remotely?
Look, I think everything that we've touched has changed in some way, shape or form. You've got all the different departments and that's meant changes for them. How we run our meetings. So traditionally, and I think most real estate agencies would be guilty of this, is having to do the face-to-face meetings. So for us with our 8 offices, it's meant that we're doing our sales meetings and performance meetings via Teams. It's also meant that our vendor meetings, buyers meetings, landlord and tenant communication can be recorded when you're doing this meeting. I mean, we all know in this industry is that when you're actually able to eyeball somebody and engage body language and have a much more engaging conversation, you can influence more, you can inform and have that trusted advisor role much more easily. So we've found for us that it's been great. It's pushed us to go forward 5 years quicker than probably what we would have if it was on our own. Our leadership team and our management team have been using Microsoft 365 now for about 9-10 months, getting off our localized servers for cost and efficiency purposes, and integrating that whole ecosystem around SharePoint, Teams, Yammer, which is like a closed Facebook kind of platform. And it's been absolutely amazing for us. And from a culture piece, while everyone's working at home, you've got the high Ds and the high I personalities that need to be around people. It's certainly helped with that. We've even had a Di Jones plugged in on Friday afternoons, 5:30. We hire a muso, everyone brings their cheese and bickies and has a wine, and we all jump online just to keep that culture going. So I think it's been fantastic. No one likes the downturn in revenue, but I think for a number of other reasons, it hasn't actually been a bad thing forcing the industry to adopt a technology that's probably been there for a long time.
Yeah, those virtual parties are very popular. I've heard of a lot of people having them. I haven't had one at this stage yet. You were talking there about your remote meeting or your meetings. I think you mentioned there that you're recording them. How are you using those? Are they being sent back to the person you're talking to, or is it you're using for training?
Yeah, look, for both. We've adopted and changed. So obviously when this first happened and basically everything kind of stopped overnight, we were finding that we needed for all the different departments to do daily meetings and record those. And of course, people had other commitments or were still trying to liaise with their clients. And then we would send a stream out of that afterwards so people could watch. And then as time came on, we pulled other people in that weren't just real estate agent coaches and trainers. We looked at bringing in someone to do a finance health check for our team on their home loans. And then we went external with that recording and did that for our clients in both sales and property management. And we're just rolling out at the moment a 5-prong approach for our home loans targeted at retirees, investors, buyers, tenants that want to buy, and a generic health check. Insurance, do our conjunctional agents, do our landlords have the right appropriate insurances in place? And legislative updates have probably been the thing that have been most utilised with video, is making sure that the team have got their head around it. And it's changing and evolving all the time. And in New South Wales, we had changes again with government, with the upper house on Wednesday. So making sure that we're communicating that quickly through video. And we're finding we've been using the MailChimp site in Property Tree. And in COVID-19, our engagement with the video that we're sending out, particularly to our landlords, has gone from, we usually average 45 to 50%, and we're seeing that over 74% because obviously people are working from home and they want to engage in it more.
Yeah, well, I don't think we'll ever go back to what we used to call the norm, because I think we've learnt so much. Can I, in a property management sense, can I ask you about the communications you're having with your landlords and tenants? In particular, are you noticing any tenants who are struggling? And if so, how are you handling that? And how are you handling the conversations with landlords who may be concerned about their mortgage repayments?
Yeah, look, we've been very structured in the approach. I've found this so incredibly overwhelming for our property management team, and it's been all hands on deck at Di Jones, making sure that we've got everything bundled and packaged up for the property management team, because they were getting smashed, obviously, from calls from landlords and tenants, and then all of a sudden, were we allowed to do routines, weren't we? Adjusting for, I know in one of our offices we were at one stage doing over 200 private viewings a week when we weren't allowed to do open homes. That on its own is exhausting. But so we just did a package of, I think it was about 7 or 8 key templates around hardship applications. This is what the letter must say to the tenant. This is what the letter must say to the landlord. I think the Real Estate Institute of New South Wales was absolutely incredible during COVID-19. We dual branded. They were liaising with Fair Trading and still are daily. So just packaging up and making it easier, daily meeting with our property management team and literally feeding them what had to go out. There was a lot of tenants that took the mickey out of the situation, and that took up a lot of time by us processing the hardship application, or they didn't even come back with it, which was terrible, because the ones that were actually genuinely going through a difficult time, it meant that there was like maybe a week's lag in getting back to them with what could be done with the owner. So we've been incredibly lucky, but I think the way that it's been managed, and we're finding a minimal disruption. Like we've got 57 tenants, I think, that are affected across the board. So we've been incredibly lucky. Landlords, and there's many landlords hurting as well. So a lot of self-funded retirees for us, Kevin, who can't get relief from their banks, and this is their money that they live on. And I don't think the legislation initially, when it was announced, without the framework, did anyone any favours. And we held on for that 3 or 4 weeks until the regulations came and the framework around that. And I'm really glad that we didn't enter into anything. And we didn't do it for long periods of time. So we're doing them in smaller chunks, because things are changing and evolving so much at the moment. To commit to any payment plans for either landlord or tenant long term, we're finding it's not feasible.
What about arrears and vacancies? How are they travelling in the business?
Yeah, look, our arrears is usually sort of below 2% most of the time. At the moment, it's 8.75. Vacancy is diabolical. So for us, average time between tenancies is usually 8 or 9 days. At the moment, it's 47. Rent to market's 20% down across the board, and we're having some very tight conversations and providing a lot of market intel every 7 days with our clients that are on the market, because unless they're prepared to drop by 20%, they're just sitting there, and we're making sure when we go to market it's priced right. If it is priced right and it's marketed correctly, doesn't change, right? That will lease quickly. But unless people are listening to the market and the feedback, unfortunately they're losing a lot of money. These
reduced rental properties that you are leasing, are they on long-term leases, or are you doing it short-term?
It's variable, so dependable. And look, it also looks at landlords' insurance policies. Never has there been a time, I think, for agents to understand the T's and C's of their preferred supplier and what they offer within insurance. We've found that supplier we work with has been giving an update every 30 days on, the definition around pandemic, what's going to change with insurance. Is someone, in fact, affected by pandemic, and the 60-day stop moratorium, how that affects their insurance policy. So whilst we can't give advice, it's very important, I think, that particularly insurers that we work with and home loans, we understand the context of that and the impacts that can have for our landlords, and communicating that clearly on video and making sure that we're giving the right ASIC disclaimers in any correspondence that we're sending out in relation to that financial advice.
Are you only working with one insurer? Landlord insurer?
We work with three. 2 of those are legacy, but we mainly work with one.
Do you mind me asking which one that is? Would you like to mention it? Or?
Probably won't. I'm happy for anyone to reach out afterwards.
Okay, that's wonderful. I just thought I'd ask. So
yeah. Well, there's three main ones that we work with. So they're CoverWise RE, the Institutes one, and EBN.
Okay. Sorry to put you on the spot there, Kylie, but thank you very much.
It's fine.
If anyone wants to know, Kylie's offer is there for you to give her a quick call. Kylie, thanks so much for your time. Just before I let you go, have you got any tips or pieces of advice for property managers or even business owners who might be struggling a little bit at this time?
Yeah, look, I think it's a really good time for us to get on top of our communication to our clients. If you'd asked me prior to COVID-19 if we had good communication to our clients, I would have said it was a 9 out of 10. Now, retrospectively, at the manner that we've been communicating with our clients, I would have said we were a 5. So I think we can lift our game with the amount of automation and technology that's come out of the last 90 days and also what's coming. I think people really need to have a good look at, are they providing valuable communication? Are they segmenting their database? Do they understand their demographic? And is it tailored towards what they want? So what I mean by that is, again, back to the insurance and the financial offerings or preferred supplier advice that we're giving, is we're trying to capture all that back into a landing page on our website. So we can measure it. We can execute and get speed to market and get them responses quickly, but we can also see within our CRM, who are the clients that are wanting certain information and what's relevant. So being relevant with your communication, being responsive and quicker speed to market. This whole environment, a lot of people are working from home. They're more active on social. Now, a number I just pulled from our dashboard from marketing, in the last 28 days, our social media has seen a reach of 94,000 people in 28 days. Now, that's extraordinary. So if you haven't got your social media strategy right, or you're not active on social media, my feeling is you'll be left behind. Use that platform to influence, be the trusted advisor, and set yourself apart from your competition. But don't just use it for marketing property.
Wonderful stuff. Kylie, thank you so much for sharing that experience with us, and I appreciate your time. Wishing you and all your team all the best. Kylie Walsh from Di Jones, thanks for your time.
Thanks, Kevin.